Hello, welcome. So today I'm doing a swatch, but with a bit of a difference, with a bit of a twist. Instead of your usual grid or block of colours, I thought it'd be more fun and maybe a bit more inspiring to swatch these by drawing a tree. I'm going to use every single colour in the set, all 40 colours, and this will actually be my first time trying them out. If you saw my unboxing video, you'll know that these are the Caran watercolour pencils, and I'm really excited to see how they turn out on paper. I have decided to speed some bits up, but I will slow down some sections so that you can see how it's drawn and coloured in, just to give you an idea. Feel free to have a go and pause in places if needed. I started to draw this tree with a brown colour, and I'm just starting with a light pencil sketch drawing, just so that I've got a rough idea of where the tree is going to go, where the branches are going to go, where the twigs are going to go. It's not super detailed or anything, but the detail is going to come from when we add the colour, and I'll use some water to see what the pencil colours look like when water is added to them. In case you missed the unboxing of these Caran Swisscolor watercolour pencils, I will leave you the link in the description box so you can have a look at those and you can see where I bought them from. This particular set is 40 colours, and I talk about how these were actually made for kids, but I didn't know that when I bought them, and so far so good. I'm really pleased with how the sketch turned out, and I've started colouring in. I'm not using a reference or anything, but I know what trees look like. I'm just doing this purely from imagination. You can do the same. Use your imagination. Create whatever tree shape you would like. And we're not just going to stick with the browns and the blues and greens. I'm going to use all the colours that you can see in this set, all 40 colours. And in case we haven't met, hello, hi, I'm Shahnaz, and I'm the creator of this channel, Bloom Art by SW. I really like helping beginners with predominantly watercolour painting, but there is a little bit of drawing involved and some basic sketching. I'm not great, I'm not the best at drawing, to be completely honest, and I absolutely love watercolours, and I just wanted to go back to trying out watercolour pencils as well, and I'm here to help you along your journey of watercolour painting as well. It can be quite scary, quite daunting when you pick up a paintbrush for the first time, and this is the first time for me using watercolour pencils in a long time. I have used them before, but in all honesty, it was just the cheap ones, and this is the first time where I've actually invested in some really decent quality watercolour pencil crayons. I've kept the sketch quite light, and it doesn't matter about what colour you use to do this bit. I just picked up the brown because automatically I think trees equals brown equals tree. So that's why I ended up just picking up the brown. Now, part of me wishes I had actually started with a lighter colour and started on the other colour spectrum, on the yellows, but I'm still really pleased with how this particular picture turned out. I surprised myself. If you're not confident or comfortable with drawing a tree, what I will do is I'll make sure a picture of a tree is on my Etsy shop for you. You'll be able to download it and then print it off. The paper I'm using is 100% cotton paper, and it's Winsor & Newton paper, so it's decent quality. And this is because I know I'm going to put water down. So if you plan to use watercolour pencils without water, it's going to be a bit odd, because it'd be like, why have you bought watercolour pencils if you're not going to add water to them? But each to their own. But if you are going to do that, then you don't necessarily need watercolour paper. You might be all right. In fact, I would have thought you would be okay with normal paper. But because these are to be used with water, that's the fun of it. That's the magic of watercolour pencils. So use a really good quality paper. And I would use one that specifically says watercolour paper, 100% cotton paper, and £140 or 300 GSM. That's the weight of the paper, the thickness of the paper. So as you can see, I'm really happy with where the tree is placed. And I'm just blocking in areas, adding in different colours, shading. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use each colour in places on the tree. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of swatching videos, and I have done one or two in the past, and I've watched a couple in the past, and I find myself pressing the forward button or getting to the actual picture. So that's why I thought I'm not going to do another swatch video like everyone else. I wanted to do something different and do something for the first time. And I don't think, or I haven't seen anyone else do a swatching video like this, where they've used all the colours for the first time in the picture. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let me know if there are other people or other artists that have done a similar video and I've just not realised, but I haven't found it. But I thought you could do this as well. If you've bought something, you've bought some colours or watercolour pencils or even pastels or any other medium that you use, then maybe just create a picture to start off with rather than put your colours down. I'm not saying you should do that. It's just another idea for you if you wanted to do something a bit different. As you can see here, I'm not being super neat either. I'm just putting the colours down where I feel like they should go. I'm not thinking too much about tonal values at this stage. However, I am just putting them in, putting darker areas in where I think they would be, it would be slightly darker, like under the branch or underneath, or the branches underneath another branch, if that makes sense, where the shadows might be. Make sure you have fun as well. Just have a play around with it. Get a feel of the pencil crayons. So compared to the cheaper watercolours that I've got, these feel really nice in my hand and they're going down onto the paper really, really nicely. They seem to be blending really well. I'm also not pressing too hard because I'm aware of if I press down too hard and start working that way, I'm going to hurt my hand basically. So I am working quite carefully, quite slowly, quite lightly, and just not pressing down too hard. Just going back to what I was saying earlier about a new item or a new product that you're trying out, you don't know what it can and can't do. And sometimes that's the fun of trying something new. You've got no idea if what is in your head is going to work on paper. And that's how I felt about this. I knew I wanted to draw a tree. I've been drawing mainly flowers and a couple of other bits, but mostly flowers and mostly leaves as well. And I've been wanting to paint or draw a tree for a little while. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to do that and also use all the colours. You can still create, in fact, I still advise creating a swatch card just for yourself, just so that you know how the colours will perform on paper. I also want to talk about the technique I'm using to get these block of colours down onto the tree. I'm not holding the pencil crayon too close or too hard, and you can see I'm holding the pencil crayon about halfway, and at the beginning I was holding the pencil crayon sort of quite far away from the point of the pencil. And the reason for this is because I don't want to get hand strain. If you are going to press too hard too soon, you're going to hurt yourself. So be wary of that. So I'm putting the colours down in a similar way to how I would use normal watercolours, in the sense that I'm putting a colour down and then I'm just literally putting another colour on the top of it. I've worked in the order of the colours that have arrived in the tin. So I've started from the brown section and then worked my way up. The only colour I haven't used yet is the white, and I've put that to one side for the moment. Also, the same with watercolour pencil crayons. You can have lots and lots of different layers. All I'm going to do today is just one set of colouring and one set of activating the pencil crayons with water, and then another day I'll try different layers and using the water to activate the pencil crayons, letting that dry and then colour over it again. I think it would be too overwhelming for you and me if I was to do too much in one go. So all we're going to do is spend some time popping some different colours down, well, all the colours down onto the tree, and then we'll paint that. So do you have a set of watercolour pencils? Perhaps you've not used them before, or you just didn't realise, and you've been using these pencil crayons like normal pencil crayons, perhaps not realising that you can actually get a completely different brand new effect if you activate them with water. Let me know in the comments. So one thing I am noticing in using this particular paper, so I forgot to mention earlier, it's actually cold press. With cold press paper, you get the textures within the paper. It's not smooth because hot press is smooth. You've got a third one called rough paper. This one is cold press paper and it's like mid-grain, so there is a texture to the paper. The reason why I'm telling you this is because as I'm colouring in, I can see, I'm hoping you can see that on the video, but I can see the texture of the paper coming through onto the picture as I colour in. If you don't want texture to come through, then you need to use hot press paper. We can look into paper another time, but I just wanted to mention that in this video, that is why you're seeing the texture onto the tree. So just a reminder, these are Caran Swiss made. They're Swisscolor. They're actually student entry. They were made for kids. They're water soluble, and these are watercolour pencils. The size of the barrel is 2.8 millimeters, hexagonal, and it's FSC certified cedar wood, and it's water based, just to give you some information about the actual pencils. So even though these are student grade, they feel really, really good quality. The lead has been really good in terms of when I've pressed down on the colours in certain areas, it hasn't snapped, it hasn't broke, which I have found with the cheaper ones before. But these, they haven't broke at all. And for some areas, I have pressed down quite hard. So I'm really liking these pencils, even though they're student grade or made for kids or whoever they're for. They feel really, really good, and the colours seem really bright and vibrant. I've actually been putting some of the lighter colours on top of or next to some of the darker areas, and they are still coming up really bright and colourful. I can't wait to add water. I've nearly finished, so I just can't wait to add water and see what happens. Do you see what I mean? I'm putting the yellow down, or the orange, or whatever colour this is. It's definitely a lighter colour, and it's showing up really, really well. I'm adding in the last couple of colours, which is this yellow, the lighter yellow, and I'm literally just putting them anywhere. I'm not even thinking about it. And then I'm going to add the white, literally just in a few little areas as well. And then we're going to add the water. How exciting! Actually, I'm just going to add a bit more of this black just in the shadowy areas, just in a few places, and then we will add the water. So I've got my water set up, I've put away the colours now, and I'm just using a Winsor & Newton brush, size 4, and I've just literally got water in my brush, and I'm adding the water on very lightly, not a shed loads of water, just a little bit. And oh my goodness, the colours and the vibrancy and the colours are just amazing. They just look so nice. I cannot believe these are marketed as student grade or for children or for kids. They are amazing. Look at the colours. And the reason why I say that they appear to be marketed for students or kids is because of that packaging. If you saw, like I said earlier, if you saw my unboxing video, you'll see the back of these. It's in a fun way, or a cartoony type way on the back. In fact, let me get you a picture. Take a look at the top of the screen. Do you see what I mean? And also, let me just talk about a little bit about pricing as well. These I paid, there was a bit of a discount on them. They were just under £40 in the UK. And that is a bit of a bargain, because some of the other colours in the Caran range are a heck of a lot more in price. So if you've never used watercolour pencils before and you want to make an investment and get a decent quality set of pencils, you can get this one. This was a set of 40. You can get smaller ones. You can get 30, 18 and a set of 12. So you can choose between those. You don't have to get all 40. I just thought it was such a bargain. I felt like I had to buy them. I just don't know why people are not talking about this Swisscolor range. I feel like I've seen more reviews on the other Caran range. Maybe it's just me, but I just couldn't find many reviews about Swisscolor. And I'm being really careful, and there is, from what I've seen and heard of watercolour pencils, there is a way of using the water. You're not supposed to go dark to light. You are supposed to go from light to dark, but I was literally just testing all the colours out, that I'm not following that process at all. I'm just being careful with the amount of water rather than using light to dark. But just look how the colours just come alive when you add some water on it. I genuinely cannot believe it. And I just think, for example, the area there under the branch, where I've gone in slightly darker to create some of that shadow, I just think it just makes the tree stand out so much more. I can't wait to try flowers and leaves with a few colours rather than using all the colours as well. Right, you better subscribe, because I'm going to be using these pencil crayons a lot more often. So if you don't want to miss out, then please subscribe or like or share or do all of them, because I will definitely be trying to create more things using these pencil crayons. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I making a big deal about all of this, or are you just as surprised by seeing this yourself with your own eyes? Does this video make you want to go out and buy these particular watercolour pencils, or just watercolour pencils in general, and just try them out? I really like the areas where I've added some of that yellow, and this bit that I'm painting here, the branches, all the separate branches, they actually do look like they are coming out of the bark of the tree. I just want to mention as well, I've got no affiliates programming. I don't know what the right wording is. I'm not affiliated with any company currently anyway. So with Caran d'Arche, I'm not affiliated. This is just my opinions. As you can see, as the colours have been activated, you can see how some blend in, some sort of hold their shape. And it's just a great way to see how the colours behave with water. Some pigments move a lot more than the others, and that can really affect the final piece. And I just think this kind of test is really useful before starting a full painting, especially when you're using something brand new, or like a new palette or a new product that, like I mentioned earlier. I am just genuinely really happy that I've bought these, and I'm here to show you exactly the results that I've created with them. And it's so easy. You as a beginner can do this as well. Also, you don't have to use water on all the painting, on the whole tree. I'm not putting water in every area of the tree. I'm just putting it in places where I feel the picture would benefit with the water and a completely different effect than pencil crayons. I hope that makes sense. You can probably guess some of my final thoughts on these watercolour pencils. Absolutely blooming brilliant. I absolutely love them. What I will say is though, this whole process from start to finish in reality took about an hour. So it's definitely not a quick process. It's not a quick result that you're going to get, but it is something that you're going to need some patience with if you've never used watercolour pencils before. And building up the layers, it's not fast and quick like watercolours can be, and even then sometimes it can take some time and you need some patience with them. However, I just feel like the results really are truly amazing and just so vibrant. I think the vibrancy is just outstanding. It's just gobsmacked me. Let me know what you think. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope you found it useful and it gave you some more insight into watercolour pencils, particularly these Caran d'Arche ones. Like I said earlier, let me know in the comments your thoughts, your feelings about all of this. And I hope you give it a try. Take care of yourselves and I will see you next time. Thank you again. Bye.